Okay, I'd like to talk about listening. Speakers will often emphasize a particular word in order to stress its importance, to make the language more memorable, to remind you what the theme is about, and to make it seem logical. But if they do stress a word, it's important to write it down. When you're giving a presentation, it's perfectly okay to have some notes, maybe on a small card that you hold in your hand, and you can switch quickly. It's a good idea to have few words on the card, just the main points. For heaven's sake, write in big letters. Some famous orators are famous for having notes and not wanting to wear glasses, so they had them typed in very big letters. Write your words in big letters on the cards. Number them so they don't get out of order. When you're speaking, you may be a little nervous, and that will help you. Use things like bullet points. When you're doing a PPT, you don't need cards, but it's a good idea to put maybe just one statement on each slide. Use a simple background and just have one or two pictures that illustrate your point. Do you have any questions?
Does bullet point means the main point or the important one?
It's a good way to separate the different points. For example, these are the reasons for learning to listen well to English. Dot, because it is a global language. Dot, because you can communicate with other people. Dot, because you will need it for academic purposes, and so on. Now, I'm going to talk about how to write an essay. It's really quite simple. Introduction, body, and conclusion. In different words, say what you're going to say it, and say what you've just said. In the case of an essay, of course, it's writing. So, in an introduction, you're going to explain what you're going to be writing about. You're going to give background information about the topic. You're going to explain why it is important. You will outline what you're going to say. You will define any key terms related to the topic, and you will give a thesis statement. Thesis statement is, in very simple language, what the essay is about and why it is important, or why you're writing about it. It's nothing complex, even though it might sound a little bit frightening. Some of these features will overlap. For example, background information and justification, thesis statement and the writer's purpose, and not everything always has to be included. Right, do you have any questions?
Shall we just skip the overlap part?
Okay, overlapping is when two things say the same thing, like this. It's not necessary to write the same thing twice.
Okay. And how can we write a good conclusion?
Okay, good question. A conclusion will summarize the main points of your essay. It will be logical. It will give any personal comments that you have on the topic. If it is an academic essay, it will say where the topic is likely to go and what further research needs to be done. It can describe the limitations in your work. You don't have to do everything, but those are the main points of a conclusion. Conclusion should be fairly brief.